Paige Bueckers. In case you were wondering, it is about as official can get that she will be headed to the WNBA and not going back for her last year of eligibility at UConn. There was a lot of speculation over this past year about that because she had not won a championship. And that was even something Gino talked about, and so on and so forth. So a lot of people were thinking it was a wait and see. Hey, they haven't won it yet this year, although they have a great shot. But she has declared. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out 19. Here we go. For those who might still be in doubt, let's take a listen. And then I want to talk about some stuff sort of related to this. It's just kind of funny. It'll give you an example of where the minds of the Hatelins are, kind of a follow-up on a previous video. I won't spend a ton of time on it, and we will talk about briefly what this means for the WNBA and the draft. But here is Paige herself.
Officially declared for the WNBA draft the other day. Just what went into that decision?
Um, Honestly, I thought I declared a long time ago, but I guess re-announcing that. But I mean, just loving the time here at UConn, being ready for the next part of your journey, but again, just not even focusing on that right now, just being present right here with the team.
Officially declared for the WNBA draft the other day.
Oh my gosh, sorry about that. The little mouse button wasn't working for me. So there you go. She is headed to the WNBA, which ends a lot of that speculation. And she had a monster, monster game against Oklahoma, went off for 40 points. Okay, shot extremely well, 16 of 27, 10 of 19 from two, 6 of 8 from three. Grabbed 6 rebounds, only dished 1 assist though, Paige. Come on. I mean, I know you took a lot of shots. I'm just saying. But here's where we're going to have a little fun before we talk about the draft real quick. Remember Eaton Thomas, the wonderful, the objective Eaton Thomas. I could have gone through a long list, but just so you know, that post he did about his article that we talked about in The Guardian that got ratioed, he decided to double down, and here you go. So I just watched Paige Bueckers score 40 on Oklahoma in the Sweet 16. But when I asked why she doesn't get the fawning over and praise like Caitlin Clark, many responded that she just wasn't as good. Y'all still stand by that, or is it something else?
What is wrong with you?
Um, you're garbage. Just saying, because this is obviously anyone who follows sports. This is one of the dumbest questions a human being could ever spew about a performance. All players can have a great performance, as Paige did. So again, keep in mind, this is not about Paige's performance. She had a great performance. This is about the idiocy surrounding everything in the game that's not Caitlin Clark being shoved down our throat as better than Caitlin Clark. And if you don't think it is better than Caitlin Clark, there's something nefarious behind that. There's something deep and dark and disturbing about you, something hateful about you. So that's where it's going. Of course, a lot of people said, yeah, this doesn't change our minds at all. It always goes back to, well, this doesn't always go back to, but one thing I think of a lot is what people forget is when, somebody, a typical role player or career sub in the NBA goes off, has a game of 30 plus points or 40 points or whatever. It's like, don't forget the players at that level, all of them at some point in their careers were big time scorers, even if it went back to high school, right? It's not like they don't know how to play. It's that they're just not, they can't do it at consistently as high a level as the stars of the game do. It's really that simple, but they're all capable of it. So everyone knows Paige would be good enough to have a game like this if she took the shots. And with all that talent around her, no one disputes that. So it's absurd that she had one 40-point game and well, that means she's as good as Caitlin because she had one 40-point game. Absolutely absurd to think that way. But he is far from the only one to spew this nonsense. As shout out Ken Swift, as he says here, he went and checked. Eden Thomas is a Paige Bueckers super fan. He's been enthusiastically championing her game all the way back to his very first post about her 4 months ago. So there you go. Like I said, it has nothing to do with basketball for Eaton Thomas. He was ecstatic to find a white player that he could use in this way. But as a lot of people say here, and see again, folks forget Paige Bueckers was Caitlin Clark before her injuries. No, she wasn't. And as this shows the difference, when Paige shows up in the upper right corner of this graph, give us a shout, and we had more like that same type of thing where this is in response to, you know, this big game by Paige, 19 years old, 44 points, 18 of 26, 8 assists. We get this, by the way, this is another big one. Stand by it. This was again in response to Eaton by it just as much. When Paige starts having these type of games in the tourney, get back to me. FYI, these games average 41, 8, and 10 versus one game of 41, 6, and 1. First player in NCAA tournament history with 3 career 40-point games. And again, look at the numbers. Triple double there, 41, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, 41, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 41, 7 rebounds, 12 points. And look who she is doing this against as this one shows here, 41, 60% total shooting percent, 8 to 6 assists, rebounds. This was dismantling undefeated South Carolina in the Final Four in 2023. By the way, I believe in now the last 4 tournaments, because they're still alive now, the last 4 NCAA tournaments, this is the only game that Dawn Staley's South Carolina team lost, and it was to Caitlin Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes, which you have 41 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds. And then, of course, this one was also in response to her. You mean complete package? Because this one says here, see, Paige Bueckers is greater than Caitlin Clark. Both great, but Paige more complete. I haven't seen a more complete female basketball player ever than Caitlin Clark. 41 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, not 40 points and 1 assist. And again, that's not Paige. I'm responding to the nonsense, but we will move on from that because we have this, right? Number 1 pick belonging to the Dallas Wings. We now know for sure Paige Bueckers is going to join the WNBA, which leads, of course, to the next bit of drama, and that is there were these seeds being planted about, oh, well, Paige doesn't want to play in Dallas. Paige isn't going to go to Dallas. Paige is going to force a trade. Paige is going to stay in school. Paige isn't playing in Dallas. Sorry, but it was on and on. And here's the thing, and I've looked and looked and looked. If you know better than I, if you have a source, please let me know. But I have not found a single credible source, i.e., Paige or someone related to Paige or Paige's agent, saying that she does not want to play in Dallas. Not saying it's not a possibility, but there's been nothing credible about that. Paige would play alongside Arike. I think that's a very interesting backcourt. And I keep saying, if she has her head right now that she's in Dallas, Melissa Smith is a double double player. Yeah, she's a double double player, and she'll play in the post. And then you have Carrington, who is, hey, we'll see. I think she's overrated. I don't think she deserved most improved player, but relative to the rest of the league, she's not terrible. So Dallas looks like they could maybe play some up tempo stuff. I think Paige might fit in well in the backcourt with Arike. We shall see. Arike does like to dominate the ball, but if there is truth to Paige not wanting to play in Dallas, then that opens up a lot of intrigue because will Dallas draft her and then trade her? Will they trade the pick? Because we also have, and I do have a WNBA, mock first round draft analysis video that I will be doing soon that I've been working on. And I'll probably go through from what I found, probably like more like 15, 16, 17 players that I think could go in that first 12. And of course, what plays into it because it's not finalized for everyone. I just saw the other day Olivia Miles said, hey, she's not sure. She's another year of eligibility too. So she hasn't officially declared for the WNBA. Maybe she wants to make one more go of it in Notre Dame with that team. Although obviously, Absolute Citron is gone. You have Johnson at LSU, who also has another year of eligibility, whereas she came out. She's probably also a first round pick, right? So those are 2 players who are most likely first round picks. So that shakes things up a little bit. And so if Paige doesn't want to be in Dallas, is there some sort of trade going on there? As a drafter and trader, do you trade the pick? Do you maybe take someone else's first round pick and a player, or someone else's first round and a first or second another season. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But it is official. Paige Bueckers is heading to the WNBA. She will be on that draft board. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know what you think about the possibility of this being true about not Paige not wanting to play in Dallas. And then what do you think then happens with that pick now that we know Paige is coming into the WNBA? What does Dallas do? Because if it is true and it gets out there as truth, Dallas doesn't have a lot of leverage, unfortunately. Now, obviously, they can draft her and, you know, they have the rights to her. She could sit out, but that gets really interesting as well. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. By the way, if you haven't seen it for some reason, I don't know, maybe not as many people were interested as I thought they'd be. It didn't get a lot of views, but go check out. Recently, I did a video on the WNBA versus the NBA, and the salary and revenue breakdown and stuff, and how that might affect the CBA. I kind of did a deep dive into that. Let me know what you think on that as well. Like, comment, subscribe. We're like 5 subs from 11,500, so that would be cool. It's ticking there. It's ticking, and I will talk to you later.